Hello there, welcome back. In this video we're going to be looking at these little tags here that say active, and we're going to have it saying active and inactive, and the owner of the shop will be able to take items offline without deleting the items. It's a cool little feature. It wasn't planned, but I think it's worth doing because I think it's going to be super cool. So let's just see, we've got a status thing here. So I'm going to add a column, I think, onto the table, one column at the end, and I'm going to call it let's just see, let's call it status, okay, and we'll make it an int of 1. And the vibe is, if we have a status of 1, it's active, and if we have a status of 0, it's inactive. I suppose I could have called it the active column, but I'm just going to go with status because it's going to make things simple when I'm doing the form and all of that, okay? You'll see what I mean. So we've added a column called status. That's all that's happened. It's very straightforward. Now let's go into the form here, and we want to add a drop down with the different status options, okay? So let's open up our create file, and we're probably going to want to have this beneath the was price thing, at least in my opinion, okay? So we'll do that, and then here we'll say, oh gee, let me just see what we're doing here. Right, so in here we'll say status, right? I'm going to hit refresh. Okay, that's pretty cool. Now obviously we don't want a text area here, we want a nice drop down. And actually I had a quick look at this Janux thing. I noticed that it's got a form thing on it, and when I had a look I could see a nice little plain select here. Do you see that? So I'm going to view the source code, and let's just check it out. So we've got a thing here that's a little select thing, and here's what it looks like, okay, and I'm going to just chuck it in. So there we go. Let's just see if that looks okay. Now it doesn't do anything obviously, but we just want to make sure it looks cool, and then we can get it actually working. So let's refresh. Okay, and that is fantastic. That is going to look really cool. I like it. So let's go to the Codeigniter user guide, and remember, we're going to stick to the user guide as much as possible. That's the vibe, right? I've done a search for form dropdown, and we can see that Codeigniter can handle this stuff. So in here, I'll keep this in, sorry, let me do that again. I'm going to keep this little drop down in as a reference because it's what we're looking for, right? It's got a little bit of formatting. I can see an ID thing here, right? But let's paste in the Codeigniter drop down and just see what happens. So I'm going to refresh. Okay, and actually it looks pretty good. I don't really see any difference. Well, okay, so I suppose we probably don't need this ID select error 3 thing. Let me just check the Codeigniter user guide for something. Let's just see. So it says if you would like it to contain additional data, then add that as a 4th parameter. Okay, so we'll do just that. So I'm going to say, here we go. So I'll say additional drop down code equals, and it's basically this. Now let me just see how they do this. Let me just see. On GID change, right, okay. Okay. Right, okay. So our additional is going to be that. Okay. There it is there. And right here, I'm going to add the additional drop down code, and then I'm going to hit refresh. Now let's just check that. View page source. We're looking for large shut. Yep, so you can see that it's added the ID here, okay? Now, it hasn't made any difference as far as I can tell, but this is a good technique to learn, so it was probably worth doing that, right? And we can say goodbye to this stuff, which is kind of cool. And this here is going to be where it says shirts on sale. Let's change that to something a little bit more meaningful. Let's just see shirts on sale. Okay, we definitely don't need this shirts on sale thing. So we're going to go with this vibe here, and our drop down is going to be called status. And this, this is the selected option. So that's going to equal status, right? And the options that we're going to have are going to be 0 is going to be inactive. Actually, let's do active first. 1 is going to be active and 0 is going to be inactive. Okay, that's pretty cool. We can take this out. Right, good. Now we're going to get an error message if we refresh the screen just now, because it doesn't know what the status is, right? So I'm going to just for the moment say that status equals 1. And if we refresh, that looks really, really cool. And let's do status equals 0. That is fantastic. Okay, so in fact, do you know, we can even do something like this. I just thought of this. Let's do please select. And let's make the status empty. Here we go. Line 54, syntax error. I wonder why. Let me just check. Oh, sorry, it was this. Okay. Now that is definitely cool. I think that's awesome. Good. So all we need to do, that's the drop down ready to rock, right? So all we need to do now is go into store items, and then we've got fetch data from post here. And we're just going to add one in that says, actually I'll add it at the end, and it's going to say status. Okay. And then we'll add one in here that says data status equals row status. And now if we refresh, status is inactive. We're going to change it to active. And that is fantastic. If we go back, create a new item, you'll see that the status says please select. Now actually, let's go into the form validation before we forget. So it's after was price, and we'll do that. And we're going to say that status should be is required, and it must be numeric, right? So if someone comes onto this page and just doesn't submit a status, we get an error. But if they say that the status is inactive, say, then it's fine because 0 is counted as a number. Okay, so that's not too bad. That's not too bad. That's not too bad. Let's go to the manage items page, and we're going to get these little tags working. It should be quite easy. All we need to do is open up manage.php, and I'm going to say that status equals row status. And we'll do a little if statement. If status is equivalent to 1, then status label equals success. Else status label equals, I think it'll be default. And then we'll have a thing that says status description. I'll just call it status desk, which would be active. and here the status desk would be inactive. Okay, so all we have to do now is head in here and add some PHP. I'll use short tags to keep it nice. So that's going to be our status label. And then in here, our status description. And if we refresh the screen, everything looks fantastic. Let's make this one active. Let's do that. Hit update, right, looks good. And that is very, very cool. I'm happy with that. Now, I haven't mentioned this thing here. I'm going to have this diverting to the actual item page on the shop, right? So this is for editing. This is for going to the page, but we'll leave that for another day. We really need to move on. And thank you very much for being here. See you soon. Bye.